I've spent over a decade obsessing with one question. Why do some artists thrive and build these incredible sustainable careers while some of us feel like we're constantly falling behind? We're often told that it's all about talent, or in this world today, going viral. But after 13 years in the creative industry, I've realized that that is a lie. Getting ahead as an artist isn't all about talent or one big break. It's actually about tiny, consistent habits that most people overlook. These are kind of the habits and systems that I have that moved me from that starving artist to the thriving creative practice that I have today. So in this video, I am going to share 9 habits that will transform your art career. It is the exact habits that I have taken on board that have really helped my work and my business to thrive. So if you're ready to stop racing everyone else and take hold of your career, stick with me and let's dive in. So the first one is to stop playing the comparison game. So there are 2 games that we play as an artist, and most feel behind because they're playing the wrong one. The status game. This is kind of the external ranking, like follower counts or prestigious gallery mentions or working with big brands that everyone else seems to be working with. The problem is that for you to win the status game, you often feel like someone else has to lose. So it makes us combative and anxious. So instead, I recommend playing the craft game. So that's all about what's happening behind the scenes. So the sketchbooks that no one sees, the refined technical skills, that deep library of illustrations or pattern collections that you've built. The craft game buys you that creative freedom. When you stop chasing the likes and you start chasing the mastery, then you've won, I feel. Number 2 is to celebrate the small wins. We live in a world of 6-figure launches and sold out solo shows, huge licensing deals. Somewhere along the line, we stopped celebrating the wins that actually build a career. So these could be things like maybe finally mastering Affinity Designer, or maybe sending out 5 pitch emails to art directors. Maybe it's actually finishing a collection rather than putting it in the work in progress folder. I used to hit a milestone and then just immediately move on. But now what I do is I keep a wins tracker. So in my Notion database, every month I try to look back on that month and I write down 3 achievements. And what this does is it acknowledges those small little wins. It acknowledges progress, strengthens your creative agency, and gives you the belief that you can actually figure things out and move ahead. Celebrate the small wins, do it every month, and it will boost you up. Number 3 is to think in decades, not days. I often get emails from people saying, oh, how can I make $10,000 a month in the next 6 months? And basically I reply and say, no, you can't. I don't know that many people who have done that. It takes years, not months, to build a career that is sustainable. And the problem is a lot of people believe people who say, yes, you can make $10,000 a month. And so after 6 months of trying, they quit because they're not making that $10,000 a month. What you need to do, you need to reframe that, and you need to consider that if your work needs to be world-class in, say, 3 years, then you are competing with everyone. But if you're willing to develop your style over a 10-year period, then you're competing with no one. And that will give you the freedom to create the art that you want to create and get the licensing deals that you want to get or the sales that you want to get. So stop asking, why hasn't this gone viral yet, or why haven't I got this licensed yet, and maybe start thinking about what you want to have in your portfolio in 5 years from now or 10 years from now and work towards that. Number 4 is to know your relationship with output. What I mean by this is, are you spending 90% of your time scrolling for inspiration? So that would be your input, rather than actually creating, which is your output. So you need to fix the balance so that you're doing more of that creative output than you are on the scrolling and inspiration seeking input. Number 5 is to build a creative resilience buffer. So we all know in the finance world that people recommend that you have an emergency fund for when things go wrong. So if you smash your car up and you have to pay this huge bill, you've got that emergency fund there to use. You don't have to go dipping into your savings or your investments or anything like that. You've got that emergency fund there. I also think it's really important to have a resilience buffer, which is basically a mindset buffer. So statistics show that a huge percentage of artists quit not because they ran out of money, but because they ran out of willpower. They may have hit a creative block, or not got a licensing deal, or got a bad critique, and they have basically folded and said, nah, that's it, I'm done. Having a really good mindset, or building a mindset buffer, means that you intentionally are cultivating a sort of growth mindset before a crisis hits. It's kind of the mental reserves that allow you to say, okay, so that design didn't sell, but that's just data I'm going to collect and use for my next collection. So I'm going to learn from it rather than be upset by it. So I do recommend spending 10 minutes a day on something that's going to build that mindset buffer. And this could be journaling, this could be meditation, or maybe reading, anything that fills that bucket up. Number 6 is to automate your creative business. You need to set up systems. So whatever you can automate, or whatever you can outsource. So things you could automate could be your social media. So use something like Metrical, which is what I use, and I absolutely love it. They don't sponsor me, but I will say it's probably the best scheduling tool that I've ever used, and it is free unless you really want to be posting 1 million posts a month. But for me, I use the free version and it works really well. Whatever you can automate, absolutely do it. That'll save up some time for your creative work. Number 7 is to diversify your income streams. Most artists and surface pattern designers shouldn't rely on just one client or just one income stream. That is going to be setting you up for disaster. If that one falls over, you'll have nothing else. So I always recommend to have multiple income streams. So there's 3 kind of income streams that I kind of work with. First is active, and so for active income, that could be anything that's a client commission, children's book illustrations, freelance projects, anything like that I would consider an active income stream. You can then have passive income streams. These could be print-on-demand shops like Spoonflower, which is what I use, or Society 6. It can also be from licensing. So initially licensing is kind of an active thing because you have to create it, but once you license something and if you get royalties from that license, then it becomes a passive income. And those licenses and royalties can compound over time. So that's a really good way to make passive income. You could also branch out into education. You could teach workshops or teach online. That's another way to earn income from your art, and also from selling brushes or textures that you've created, which could also be a passive income as well. If you've got those 3 types of income streams, then if one gets hit, then you've got those other ones to keep you going. Number 8 is to stop caring about the industries or other people's opinions. How many times have you stopped yourself from posting something because you were afraid of what real artists might think of it? I think the moment I stopped caring about being in the cool crowd, I started taking bigger risks, and I started making art that was more for me and not for others. People will always have opinions on your style or your pieces, but it's your hand holding the brush. Be laser focused on your own values and you'll create art that people will want to buy and people will want to license. And lastly, number 9 is to invest in yourself. yourself. This is a big one for me. I am a serial learner. I love learning, not only to build my skills as a illustrator and surface pattern designer, but also for the health of my brain. I mean, there's so many research studies out there that say learning and doing things that exercise your brain is so good for you. Just like physical exercise, we all want to be fit and healthy through exercise and eating healthy, but to look after our brains, we want to be learning and doing things that causes our brain to undergo that neuroplasticity. So you can basically forge new neural pathways in your brain by just learning something new. So I am a big advocate for learning. I teach, obviously, as well. I teach because I love it and I love helping people, but I also love learning myself. As much as you can every day, just keep on learning. It's so good for you. So I guess the biggest takeaway from all of this is that thriving as a creative isn't about being a superhuman talent. It's about having better habits. So I highly recommend picking 1 or 2 or 3 of these 9 habits that I've talked to you about today, implementing them into your creative business, and watch how your creative business will start to thrive. And if you're interested in learning how I went from being a software engineer to an illustrator, check out this video here to learn about my journey. See you.